The best sex I've had was with my girlfriend, Kalila. But the
Mm.
second best sex I've ever had was in Beirut.
Really?
Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
So this is crazy. So I go to Beirut with Sebastian Maniscalco
Yeah, for the troops?
and Eric Griffin. No, we did shows for. I'm not kidding you. Hezbollah
When was this?
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had done this fucking Middle East run. So I don't know if you know this, but in the Middle East, if you go on the internet and try to download porn, you can't.
They block it. Yeah,
They block
yeah,
it,
I've heard
right?
that.
So
Yeah.
then it's like, and I've always masturbated through pornography.
Yeah.
So for a month, I didn't masturbate at all.
You just
I couldn't. So it was just, and then I kept saying to the tour guys, I go, when are we going to Beirut? Because I knew that I could have a prostitute
you'd have
there.
freedom there. Yeah.
Yeah. And there soon, in 3 weeks, I would like have a calendar and just mark it. You know what I mean? And then we go to Beirut, and so we go, and there's this guy named Camille, and he's like our friend, and he's running the shows, right?
Right.
He's like promoting it,
Right.
through his production company or whatever. And he lived in this gigantic white mansion. As soon as we walked in, there was like Uzis on the table. So I go right up to Camille, and I'm just like shaking, and I'm like, huh? Where do I get the prostitutes? I'm gonna explode. He's like, oh, you want to go?
Yeah.
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 And he goes, super disco.
What?
That's what he says to me.
Super disco.
Super disco. I go, what the fuck is a super disco? And he goes, that's where the prostitutes are.
Oh.
And I go, well, can we go now? He's like, no, we got to go an hour into the desert,
Yeah.
right? So I go, when? He goes, tomorrow. We'll go. We'll go to Super Disco. And then Masterson goes, I want to go. I'm not gonna have. He's not that way, but they just wanted to check it out.
I would want to check it out.
Yeah, he just wanted to check it out.
Yeah, I want to see it.
He wanted to see it.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything with his brother. So if you're in Beirut, every other street there's a tank, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a 12-year-old with a machine gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And then they have to stop, and then it's like you got passports. You know,
Show
what I
me
mean?
your papers.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're going out there. It takes forever to get out there. You got into the desert, and all of a sudden you see these 3 buildings. They look like skyscrapers
In the middle of the desert.
in the middle of the desert, and above them is like these like circus, like circus, like it's a super disco, but in that kind of font.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And like bright lights, you
And
mean.
bright
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah.
And we go downstairs, and it's like, have you ever been to a shitty theater where it's like just black? They have no, I mean, there's no set decorating. It's
yeah.
just black boxes.
It's a black box theater,
right?
yeah.
Black box theater, right? That's what it looked like.
In the basement of this beautiful big building.
In this basement, it's black. You know what I mean? And maybe a couple of like those 70s like
Disco balls. Yeah.
right? And it's like this music is playing, and the women are just walking in a circle. Like they're just
What?
they're just wandering around, just pretending that they're partying, but you can tell that they're just
Sex slaves.
slaves.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm laughing,
Yeah.
right?
So
So then I go to Camille. I go, I don't know. Is there a happier place, like a super disco, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, dude. I know the girl. I've been here before. I know the girl.
Okay.
So he disappears, right? He comes back with this Moroccan lady, right? Her name is Julia, but she looked like a dark Julia Roberts.
No.
I'm being serious. As soon as I saw her, my dick just went, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It went like this, right? And a little juice squirted out the top. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, oh. And he goes, "This is Julia," and I go, "Hi, nice to meet you." And she's, when women first see me, they make a face.
Yeah.
They go like that.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I go, "Do we do it now, or how's it work?" You know what I mean? And he goes, "No, you gotta come back tomorrow."
What?
Check this out. You gotta come back tomorrow, and you gotta take her on a date.
You have to take a prostitute on a date?
I go, "What the fuck? I don't know the language. I don't know Moroccanese or any of this shit.
Moroccanese.
I don't know any of this shit." Right? He goes, "It's not really it's just illegal, right? So you have to just show up here and
Right.
go through the motions of it. But it's gonna." I go, "Okay." So I wake up the next day, And I go, Camille, let's go. He goes, no, you're going on your own.
Out to the super disco by
Yeah,
yourself.
an hour in the desert by myself.
Nope.
I go, by myself? He goes, don't look at this piece of paper. So he puts a piece of paper, right? On the top it says, Julia, 202. Johnny said it was okay. That's what it said. Johnny said it was okay.
Well, Johnny said it was okay.
I go, who's Johnny? He goes, don't worry about it. Just give him the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in the cab, and I remember this. This cab driver, he goes, hey, you want to see my new tattoo? I go, yeah. He pulls up his shirt. It's a full-blown Adolf Hitler tattoo
Shut up.
on his fucking stomach
In Beirut?
in Beirut.
Had Hitler doing the Sig Heil.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Wow.
And so I'm scared. And then now,
I feel safe for some reason.
and also, and every stop point,
Yeah.
right? It's harder because I don't know the language. It's not like Camille could talk to these people.
Yeah.
So it just takes longer.
Would you have to keep saying super disco?
No, I didn't say any. You can't say that.
So what is the taxi guy does it?
Yeah, he's like, he's going to go visit. I don't know what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
So we go out there, and the taxi, it's during the day now. It looks completely different.
Ugh.
It's just desert and
Yeah.
just like 1970s Soviet-looking buildings.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. And he drops me off, and he goes, and he just drives away,
Yeah, he knows.
right? And I go, what the fuck? And I walk in there, and there's a table, a long wooden table off to the side, and there's probably about 10 Russian dudes, right? Drinking Turkish coffee, smoking cigars, and they all have the guns,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they're just, as soon as I walk in, they just stare. And I'm shaking, Andrew.
The paper is just...
Yeah, just, right? And I go to the front desk, and there was a doorway like that, right? But
Yeah.
you know how in the doorway sometimes they have those like
those
wooden beads,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the beads.
I fucking hate those.
Yeah, so this a Russian twice the size of these guys walks through this fucking thing. What do you want? And I go, Julia 202. Johnny said it was okay. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, who's Johnny?
Yeah.
And
good,
I go,
Good question.
and I ran out of the fucking building.
What?
Yeah, and I called Camille because we had these makeshift like throwaway phones.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Burner phones.
Burner
yeah.
phones, and I go, there's no Johnny, so I'm gonna give me a cut. There's no Johnny. You go, there's a fucking Johnny, dude. He's my friend. Go back in there. We had a fight. I'm not going back in there. So I go back in there, but now the guy's still behind the counter, like this. Right?
Huge.
And these guys are just staring at me.
Yeah.
And I go back and I go, Julia, 202. Johnny said it was okay. And he looks at me and he goes, I'm Johnny! and then everyone starts laughing. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm laughing too, like, I thought I was going to die. You know what I mean? And so then he goes, here's your keys, right? Camille took care of it, every single range.
Oh, he paid.
Yeah, he paid for it. And he goes, and he gave me 2 remote controls. One for the air conditioning and one for the TV remote. I know, it's weird.
They don't leave him in the room?
No, they don't. So I have 2 remotes, and then I have keys. I go to room 202, and it literally is like, the room looked like Munich 1972. I mean, just 70s.
Like drab.
But drab.
Old.
Not only just old,
Wet.
but very like Soviet 70s.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. The TV was like, I didn't even know how to turn it on. It was so old.
Yeah, the remote wasn't for the TV.
Yeah, I don't know what it was for. And
Yeah.
I sat there on this couch just waiting for this girl. And I waited there probably for an hour and a half.
She wasn't in the room?
No.
So you just sat in the
I
room?
just sat there, just I looked around a bit.
Right.
I looked outside. It was just desert.
What do you do back then? There's no phones. You're not playing on a phone. You
No,
just
there's
sat.
no, I had a makeshift phone.
That's what I'm saying. So you just sit in silence.
I just sat there. And then I get a knock on the door. And she comes in.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't speak English.
Of course.
And she just goes, she grabs my hand. We just sit on the couch. I'm just sitting there. I don't know what to say. And then she starts kissing my neck, right? And then I'm not kidding you. Out of my dick.
You came already?
Already a little bit. I mean, imagine a month, right?
Yeah.
Right? You could hear it. Like that, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, okay, come over. You know, she pulls me over the bed. And she has condoms out of this purse, right? Put the condom on. And
She put it on for you?
yeah.
Okay.
And she's beautiful. She's hot. As soon as I stick it in, I come.
What?
Yeah, I go, ah!
Right away.
Right away. So, okay, that's good. Let's, you know what I mean? She goes, no, 4 hours.
He paid for 4 hours.
No, for some reason, you have to be there because of this dating thing for a certain amount of time. Right?
Otherwise, they know it's a prostitute?
Right.
Right.
So I go, 4 hours? But she goes, but we can do as many as we want.
So you can just keep doing it?
Yes.
So you did.
Like 12 times.
Really?
Oh, my God.
Did you love it?
Oh, it was the best. For
So-
$200?
That's all it was?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, my God.
So you just kept going.
You kept going. I mean, by the 12th one, you know what I mean?
Fourth
a
or
Visine drop,
fifth, you
a
mean?
Visine drop comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's when your dick is like, trying.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. How do you say goodbye?
I don't.
You just got up and left.
Yeah, I just got to put my clothes on.
Bye-bye.
Well, you give them a look, like, and then you leave.
You winked.